Hello to you, my neighbors on Rich Kids Island. Welcome to our space and to episode 22 in season 2 of the Hot Money Talks podcast. My name is Christine Ishampepe, the money mechanic, and I help you fix your finances. I am on a mission to equip Africa's younger population with adequate financial literacy, advice, and strategy so they can journey to financial freedom and live life purposefully on their own terms and to the fullest, because money is no more a barrier. I want you to live your best life. The Hot Money Talks podcast is a series of honest, open, and transparent money conversations that will guide you on your journey to financial freedom. Here on the podcast, we believe 100% that financial freedom is possible with the right set of knowledge, the right amount of time, and the right circle of people. Now, before we delve into today's episode, let me ask, how are you? Like, for real, how are you coping in today's Nigeria? I was chatting with someone just yesterday and I told her that I have questioned my adulthood so many times this season. Man, what a time to be alive. But one thing I remain confident about, though, is that I will see the goodness of God in the land of the living. Amen, somebody. I am determined not to allow my challenges swallow me, and so I will thrive. Tell yourself that you will thrive, no matter what happens. Your mindset is everything in this season, so do not allow anyone or anything contaminate your mind and your spirit. Beat your chest and tell yourself, I will thrive. Okay? All right. So let's get down to business. A whole lot of millennials and Gen Zs really want to win with their finances, right? But many of us have remained stuck because of certain mistakes that we're making. And so today we will be looking at the common mistakes that young people make with their finances. Now, a few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to speak to over 200 young people on a panel at the Jamie Powell International Plateau State Youth Assembly. And one of the questions I was asked during the panel discussion was to talk about some common money mistakes that young people make. And so I'd like to share my answers with you today. Now, the very first financial mistake that I see young people make with their finances is not being futuristic. Now, majority of us young people forget that we are the old people of tomorrow. So just because we are young now doesn't mean that we'll be young forever. You will not be young forever, and that realization should sink in early. It's nice to sing, forever young, I wanna be forever young. But you will not be young forever. And it's important that, like I said, the realization that we'll not be young forever should sink in early. Now, I see a whole lot of us failing to plan for the future because we assume that time is still on our side. However, remember that old age is coming and you must prepare for it. I will always say that the tree you expect to give you shade in your old age is not planted when you are old, but now that you are young. So do your current financial decisions reflect that you are preparing for the future? Think on this. Now, the second money mistake I see young people make is not learning. We're not learning about our finances. But you see, if your finances are such an integral part of your life, then why are you not learning about it? If you want your finances to grow, then you must be very deliberate about learning about it. Learn how to make money, learn how to spend it, learn how to keep it, and most importantly, learn how to multiply it. You see this multiplying part? That is the secret to wealth. And generally, actually, learning is really the secret to wealth. Right? If you take a look at the wealthy people that you admire, look at their habits, and you would see that they intentionally take time to actually learn about their finances. So Are you making effort to learn? What kind of content are you consuming? The content you're consuming, is it helping you to get better with your finances? If you are really intentional about something, then you will make effort to actually get knowledge about it. Now, another common financial mistake that young people are making is we're not giving value. Now, I'd like to say here that value is the magnet for money. And so if you are not giving value either at your workplace or in your business or generally in life, then just forget about attracting money, because money will never go to a person who has no value to give. So if you think that your problem is that you're not making enough money, then why don't you ask yourself, what value can you give to the people of the world? What value are you even currently giving? So it's easy to complain about how, money is not coming, money is so hard to come by and all of that. But are you giving value that will actually attract money? Think on this. Another common mistake is giving excuses. My goodness. Many of us love giving excuses. Like, we hug it. And it is only poor people who make excuses. If you want to be rich, then you have to ditch excuses and take action. It's high time you stopped blaming everyone but yourself for your predicament. Your financial freedom is your responsibility, and you must do the needful to get your money right. The faster you throw away your excuses, the faster you embrace your destiny. The final common financial mistake I see young people make is pursuing quick money. See, building wealth is hard work, right? But because many of us want to skip the process, we are quick to jump on get-rich-quick schemes, which end up leaving us scarred and at a loss. Beware of Ponzi schemes disguised as investments, in quotes. They are only out to scam you out of your hard-earned money. This is why it is important, once again, that we place emphasis on learning about our finances. Why? Because knowledge makes you a better investor. Knowledge makes you a better investor. If someone comes to you promising to multiply your money by 500 or 1,000%, my brother and my sister, better carry your slippers on your head and run. Carry your slippers on your head and run. What kind of business are they doing? How much are they making for themselves that they want to give you 500% or even 1,000%? That alone is too good to be true. And that is a serious red flag. Furthermore, I'd like to say here that betting is not an investment. Why? Because intentional people do not place bets on their future. They plan and they work for it. Remember that wealth is not built overnight. It is built over time. Are you guilty of any of these mistakes? No need to panic, because you're not alone in the struggle, okay? What you need to do now is just to be clear on what mistakes you may be guilty of, and then take determined action to fix up and not go back to your mistakes. Your past mistakes are not powerful enough to define your future successes. And so I hope you're encouraged. Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Hot Money Talks podcast. If you have listened to this point, then it means you definitely have gotten value. Don't keep it to yourself. Go ahead and share the link to this episode with someone you want to see win with their finances in this year and beyond. It would mean the world to me if you took a few minutes to leave me a review in the comment section of this podcast, so that others can see your endorsement and join the community of listeners who enjoy this podcast. If you have any burning questions that you'd like me to answer on the podcast, please shoot me an email via talktothemoneymechanic@gmail.com and let me know your dilemma. Don't forget that new episodes of the Hot Money Talks podcast drop weekly, and you can listen to them on your favorite podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Subscribe and follow the show on either of these platforms so that you are notified whenever an episode is released. Recommendations are powerful, so please tell your friends and family about this podcast so we can go on this journey together. To connect with me on other platforms, do well to follow The Money Mechanic at The Money Mechanic page on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I hope most importantly that you will take action on your finances today. Sending you love, light, and a sprinkle of money in between.